Welcome to Business Prowess with Raphael and Dr. Andrea. Our show will bring you the best insights, ideas, and inspiration from successful entrepreneurs and CEOs in the business world. Don't miss out on the opportunity to learn from the best and stay ahead of the game. Sifu Raphael is the founder of 5 unique shows. He's a fitness professional, solutions expert, executive coach, and head instructor at Max Martial Arts and Fitness in New York. Dr. Andrea Adams Miller is an award-winning international keynote speaker, best-selling author, and CEO of the Red Carpet Connection Publicity, Publishing, and Talent Agency, and CEO of IgniteYourRelationship.com. Known as the Dream Maker, she makes visionaries' dreams come true, bigger than they ever dare to desire.
Nikki, happy Friday, my friend.
Happy
How are you?
Friday, Sifu. I'm excellent. How are you doing?
Exceptional, getting better every day. How many times have I told you that?
Weekly, and I can't hear it enough. It's inspiring, and it's a great reminder that we get better every day.
But we have to also make that choice, don't we?
We do. Yes. It's those incremental improvements, right?
Yes. I want to thank you and definitely keep Dr. Andrea in our prayers as she's going through 2 surgeries today, and for you to step in and be here and honoring her. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
But I'm excited. We have an incredible human being joining us. Raquel. Good morning, Raquel. How are you?
Good morning, Sifu and Nikki. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today.
Yeah.
Yes, we're excited.
Yeah. So one of the things that we're always excited is when we have a guest who's going to come and just pour so much knowledge. And that's you, Raquel. So GPS for success. I love GPS for success because otherwise you're just wandering out in the woods, might trip and die, don't know. So the GPS for success, I love that.
Yes.
Tell us why.
I remember being in a class about that.
Right. Look at the sun, get your compass out, right? Make sure you have if you don't have your digital GPS, you got to find another one, right? So we want to talk about the power of your potential. Tell us how important that is for not just us, but for even our viewers.
I truly believe, and that's my worldview, that everyone is made on purpose for a purpose. And so we have all these juicy gifts and talents and opportunities that are pulled out of us. But we have to be able to say yes to even things that we think are stressful, because the right amount and the right kind of stress will activate those things in us. So when we are not living in that potential, when we're not, even allowing ourselves to receive the opportunities, eventually we're okay for a while. We'll kind of like lie to ourselves, say like, I'm waking up, I'm going to work, I'm taking care of things. But then after a while, you're realizing you're waking up, you're going to work, you're coming home, you're going to sleep, and round and round it goes. And that's why we have that cliche of the midlife crisis, because you wake up and you're like, is this all there is? And no, this is not all that there is. There is so much more that we can do. And so many people I'm really grateful. Like, I have very young clients. And so I'm really grateful that young people are actually acting like midlife people and are awakening to like, I don't want to live my life that way. And I think that's one of the beautiful things of like millennials and younger people, is that they really have caught on like, I don't want that kind of life. I don't want just to wake up and go to work and come home and go to sleep and then see my friends once in a while, see my family once in a while, just go on vacation when I'm told I can go on vacation instead of creating this kind of life that really thriving. That's really the blessing of that generation. It's like God had to birth out a whole generation to wake the rest of us up. Like, what are you doing? Everybody has this great potential to bring something wonderful to the human race and to make it better. And when we don't do that, we make the grave rich, because all the things that we were supposed to do, we're hurting other people. We've been designed specifically for them. That's why everybody's like Black Label. Everybody is specifically designed to answer the prayers, the wants, the needs, the desires of other people. And when we don't step into that, when we don't say yes to that, when we're not open to that, we actually cause a ripple effect into people's lives, because they're not getting what we were designed to give them.
Yeah, love it, love it. Do me a favor, Raquel. I totally, I was just so happy to have you on that. Before I forgot to ask you to put your wherever you want us to send people to on in the private chat. If you can do that, we'd love for you to do that. Nikki, when you consider to power your potential, if you will, on a daily basis, what does that mean to you?
Powering your potential on a daily basis, to me, that means to, on a daily basis, get quiet and go inside and listen and feel. A new thing I've been doing is dropping out of my head and into my body and just paying attention to the things that I feel. We are so much more capable than what we think. And it really, in my experience, isn't helpful when someone else tells me that. It's what's important is that I believe it and that I feel it. So learning how to trust yourself, and speaking of GPS, your own guidance system, your emotions that you have, always getting curious and asking questions. And recently I've been approaching life from a place of curiosity. And when I feel something, let's just say it's overwhelm or frustration or maybe a little bit of doubt, rather than reacting to it, it's just interesting. This is interesting. And getting curious and realizing that that is not you. That is not who you are. You are separate. You are so much more. And that's a little bit about potential for me.
Love it. Love it. Every day we have a chance. We're given a gift. And listen, you woke up this morning. That's the first gift, right? To wake up. And then we go from there. What do we do with that? What do we do with that potential? You know what a lot of people do? They start with the negativity. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I didn't do this yesterday. Or my next door neighbor just got a brand new car and I still have this jalopy. Or I live in this house and, you know, my cousin has got a gorgeous, beautiful house. Or I'm single and yet my friends they have relationships. And instead of saying, wow, I get to do this again and I can do it better than I did yesterday. That's why my response to every time that you and I meet and you ask me how I'm doing it, I always say a little better, right? A little better. I don't need to be 1,000 times better. I mean, don't get me wrong, that would be incredible. And I know that's never going to really happen, but I shouldn't even say that, because if it does happen, whoa, it'll be great. But a tiny little bit is better than no bit, right? So yes, every day we should be grateful for the tiny little thing that is presented to us. The biggest thing is that we woke up. Love to hear your thoughts on that, both of you.
Well, it really ties into what I say about my 1% model. And it's really investing in yourself 1% or less of your day. Because we understand the power of compound. We understand the power of mutual funds. But what if you invested in yourself on purpose for that 15, and it's only 15 minutes. The exact is 14 minutes and 40 seconds. I like sexy numbers. I'm like, my brain wants to know the number. What is that 1% of your day? But when you frame it, sometimes people hear 15 minutes like, oh, I don't have 15 minutes. But what if you give yourself the reframe? Say, oh, that's only 1% of my day. So even if you're doing less than 1% of your day, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, my clients have amazing results by the sheer act of your focus when you're doing that. it does compound. Another thing is, I learned from a neuroscientist that every 10 seconds, your brain is checking in with the voice of your mind, which is your mindset. So every 10 seconds, we get a reset. We have the opportunity to be like, oh, my life is starting over. What are we doing? What are we feeling right now? And your brain is your helper. It will just pull you toward your most predominant belief system and emotional state in that moment. So when you're, oh, I have all this potential, like we talked about in the beginning, we already have everything we need to be massively successful. We are wired for success. We're wired for love. And if we would leverage our wiring, we would have so many opportunities that we literally have to go get friends to help us to manage to dream.
Yeah, I love it. Let me ask you a question. Nikki, if you can answer that, then I have a question. Go for it. What are your thoughts on what I said earlier?
About rewiring your mind for success? Because I was just so listening to what Raquel was saying. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
And
it's also every day how do you the gift that you've been given, right, as well.
yes, yeah. It, like I said earlier, it's giving yourself that quiet time each day just to get curious. There is so much information out there, and we can get caught up in comparison, like you were saying earlier, Sifu, looking at the car that the neighbor has versus what you have, and it just becoming aware of those thoughts. Oh, interesting. I notice I'm comparing right now. Give yourself some grace, and I'm thankful that I had the awareness. And now what's a reframe? What's something that I do have, that I do appreciate, that I am grateful for? Oh, I have a car to get me from point A to point B, and I am thankful for that.
Yeah, it's gratitude, right? I think that's a great way to start, and that's how I do it every day. Here's a question: have you ever done a squat? I know you both have.
All the time at the
All
gym.
the time. But here's the thing, right? A lot of people, and when we're talking about time, and I appreciate you, Raquel, talking to us about the 15 minutes that we should give to ourselves, but many of us, because we're getting pulled from every direction, we don't. What happens to your time if you have to hold the squat? You're standing tall and you squat, right? You're in a seated position. Oh, there's my camera. I told you my camera would get crazy on us. I got to shut that feature, and it's off. It just loves it when I put that hand up like that. So if we held that position, the squat position, like sitting on a chair with nothing underneath, with no chair, invisible chair, if you will, all of a sudden, when you're talking to somebody and you're having a great time and so forth, it's like, oh my God, half hour passed, 45 minutes. Oh my gosh, we've been here for 3 hours. But if you were to sit in that position, the seconds would seem eternal. I know, because that's one of the positions I put my students through. And their legs start to shake. And I'm like, you haven't even done a minute yet. Why are you shaking? Oh, my legs are killing me. I'm like, oh, really? I said, think about not the pain, because the pain tells you you're alive. This is a good pain. And if somebody goes, oh, that hurts, I'm like, is it good or bad pain? Do you have to go to the hospital? No. Okay, so it's good pain. Sometimes we have to go through the pain to get the reward. And in order to get the stronger legs, you have to go through that pain. Why do we go to the gym? We have to stress our muscles. They have to go through that pain in order to grow. Now, Nikki, you've been going to the gym on a regular basis, yet you still fit in this camera screen. You didn't get that much bigger, right? So we're training our muscles in a certain way. And I love training the fibers of the muscles, just not the muscles. So I train my clients way differently than what most trainers do. Some trainers, listen, I've even trained Olympic bodybuilders. I trained a guy who was going for a world title, and he wanted me to train him because I don't train traditional. I do what we call 100 sets and all this kind of crazy stuff. And it's about building the fibers of the muscles, the deep, deep portions of the muscles that make up the muscle, so that you're not just a balloon, you actually have strength behind it. And I think we need to do that with ourselves, right? Everything we do with ourselves every day is based on building. Every day we build. But guess what? We also leave behind. And what are we leaving behind? What are you leaving behind? That's a question for you guys.
Raquel, you want to take it first?
Yeah, that's my part of my part of my legacy is I've been thinking about that. And I'm in my 50s now. I have 3 children. My youngest is 15 and my oldest is going to be 24. And I see how my influence is on them. I'm like, wow. And I see the influence in my clients' lives and how it's rippling to other people around them. And that's what I want. I want that to be part of my legacy, that people feel seen and heard, and because and the fullness of why they were created, and have that be part of my messaging as well. The other part is our words matter because they become matter, literally, first in your neural pathways and then in everything else. So understanding the power of our words, because they truly do produce life and death. And we know that. We've met people who have been verbally abused and they're in their 50s and 60s and they're still replaying that script. And so for me, it's like, okay, what am I here to do? And it's really just to bring people back to their original blueprint of their existing wiring of success and love. That's how we're actually wired. And we've been fed a bunch of lies that, we naturally default to the negative. That's actually not true. We're actually born defaulting to be optimistic. And then there's this thing about nurture or nature. Well, it's in our genes, but they don't get activated until we observe. So it's like, it's quiet, it's dormant. So there's all these intricate combinations, and thank God for like sciences like epigenetics that's showing us that. But if they get turned on, we can turn them off. So we have been activated. So my passion is to let people know you are not stuck where you are. It doesn't matter what you came in, how you came into this world, what you think your genes are, your nationality, your culture, your subculture. You have so much power granted back into your hands that you can actually leverage the juiciness of you and have an incredible life that speaks about your I'm frozen.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of a problem.
Why you were here for generations.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of a lag
okay now?
with now you're okay, but sometimes you're cutting in and out, right, Nikki? So, but man, am I loving what you're talking about? Totally loving it.
I love this conversation, and I love the connection you made, Sifu, to working out. Squats I was doing yesterday at the gym, and lots of them. And when I started to notice some discomfort in my legs, in my quads, I moved my attention to a different part of the body, and I didn't feel the discomfort. So that's something that that's really a lesson that we could do for life. Like when our focus is on something that we don't want or that's causing discomfort, to move your focus onto something else. What can you do with where you are? And then the other point I want to make about your point, Sifu, is the gym and exercise is a great time to rewire your brain. And while you've got those endorphins going, to give yourself those positive affirmations. So in my head, when I'm at the gym, I've got a lot of cheerleading going on. Like, I am strong. You got this. You can do anything you put your mind to, in that heightened state. And that really locks it in to the brain.
Love it. Love it. When you consider we can't do this alone. Can you squat without breathing? Not at all. So the breath actually is so powerful, yet so many people squat and hold their breath. So many people do a bench press and hold their breath. So many people have anxiety because they hold their breath. When the breath allows you to function better. So we need to give breath to our lives. Sometimes we need to give more. So not only is our life breath, you ever heard of somebody say to, wow, you're a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
Yes. And then so many people are that. But sometimes we stop them from being that fresh breath that we need in our lives. And we don't allow the right people in. And then we get somebody with stinky breath into our lives and they speak negatively, right? So we got to consider, did you take a mint before you spoke to me? Did you? Because if you put garlic in your mouth, right, and you chewed it, instead of having a breath mint, you chew on garlic and then you go speak to somebody. How's that conversation going to be? Right?
Fast.
It's going to be fast, and somebody's going to actually pull back, right?
Yes.
Have you ever had a conversation with a person and the words that they're saying just draw you in and you get closer and closer and like my camera did, right? And it's because of that hand gesture I did. But we don't need to have a hand gesture. It's the words we use, the way we use our communication skills. And this is why I want to share with you this next video. Take a look.
In a world where words shape destinies and connections forge futures, this November 22nd to the 24th, Speaking Prowess brings you the ultimate hands-on workshop. We have a lineup of some of the most influential communication experts in the industry. These are the voices that will guide you on a journey to enhance your ability to connect, influence, and succeed. Sifu Raphael, master instructor and founder of Speaking Prowess, blends communication and leadership to help you reach your full potential. Dr. Oliver T. Reed, the international multi-best-selling author and motivational speaker, known as the writing coach, will help you craft your messages with precision. Jose Escobar, a nationally recognized speaker and leader, will guide you in mastering personal development and leadership skills. This is more than just an event. It's a game-changing, skill-building experience. Walk away with communication prowess that transforms your personal and professional life. Speaking Prowess, where communication becomes your superpower. Reserve your seat now.
Come join us in New York. But let's consider everything we've been talking about. It all is based on one person. You. What do you do with you? How do you handle you? How do you show up? So your potential and the power of your potential is based on you, your beliefs, and your actions. Would you mind talking to us about the importance of you?
Raquel?
Yes. One of the things that we are not groomed with the information is that our actions are not based on our emotions. They're based on our thoughts. So it goes thought goes. And so when we have this negative thought come up, it's actually very normal. It's just our brain giving us an offer. It's the things that we've been thinking about the last 60 or 90 days and says, oh, here you go. But if you don't understand that even those negative thoughts that come up, that it's normal, it's just your brain. There's nothing wrong with you. And then when you catch the negative thought, that's grace, that's awareness. And at that point, you can choose to capture it and make it do something else, so that when the information goes back to your brain, it creates a new structure in the brain to then eventually give you actions. So people have all these negative connotations about themselves. Oh, I'm a procrastinator. I have imposter syndrome. I'm this, I'm that. No, you are. And so because you think you are, your brain is your helper. It says, okay, this is what you think you are. Let's go this way. I will make you right. There is a misnomer that the brain wants to keep you safe. It does not. It keeps you contained within your own belief system. So this is why we have that saying that so many of us know, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Yes, because your brain is making it so. Your brain is your partner. And when you have a really self, then you can love your neighbors well. Then you can love your children, your spouse, people, because the grace you have for yourself, it's easy for you out of that overflow to extend to others. We are so beautifully and wonderfully made. And if we start really to just receive that as part of our belief system, I am that. I am beautifully, wonderfully made. I'm wired for love. I'm wired for success. I have great gifts. Then as those belief systems become really structures in our brain will make us right. And we'll find ourselves in the right place at the right time with the right people doing the right things in the right order, because that's important too. To do things in the right order.
Mm-hmm. And you are beautiful. You are born that way.
Yeah.
Now, I've never seen an ugly baby. And I know some people go, I was born ugly. You were not born ugly, and you're not ugly now. If we were all blind, I always say this all the time, if we were all blind, we would not see the external, we would see the internal.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we lost Raquel. Hopefully she'll come back and she'll have better connection. But
Yes.
what great advice that she's giving, that you are beautiful. You were made.
Yeah.
You were made to love. So what is it about you, Nikki, that is so beautiful?
Oh my. This
Oh
is the
my.
first time I've been asked this question. What is it about me that is so beautiful? I would say
I'm gonna help you right there. Ready?
Oh, okay.
Everything.
Everything. What I was going to say
Everything. That's the
is
right answer, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. What I was going to say is I think what makes me beautiful is my willingness and courage to look at myself and to see where I might fall short and how I can improve. That's something, that self-assessment and improvement, that I've been doing for decades. And I know that it's hard, because even the clients that I work with, sometimes it's really hard for them to question something that they've believed for 30, 40 plus years, and to admit that maybe they got something wrong, and to own up to that and take personal responsibility. So I think that is what is beautiful about me. What would you say for you, Sifu, is beautiful about you, other than
everything? You know, it's so many times that we don't see our own beauty because maybe one person said, "Hey, you're a little fat." Oh, I have a big nose, and I know it. But guess what? I now see it as a gift, because now I tell people, "Look at my big nose," and all of a sudden they're paying attention to me. So everything, we were built a certain way. We all have different characteristics. We all look slightly different, even though there is a doppelganger, I guess, if you will. of who we are. There's going to be somebody who may look like you. I was just at a conference and somebody goes, you look like so and so. I'm like, oh, thank you. I said, who is that person? And they're like, oh, he plays this. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I said, I'm not him though, right?
Mhm.
And I've been told so many times, you look like this, you look like that, you look like this. But I'm like, thank you, but I am me. And you're getting me. So when we consider how am I beautiful, it's because I clean my mirror before I look.
Mm.
I look through my clean mirror. I look through my clean lenses. Raquel, I see you're back. We're going to bring you back on. Thank you for coming back. And there you are on your phone now. Look at that. I'm going to give
That's
you
my plan B.
I like your plan B. I'm going to give you a tip, right? So you have your phone like this, just turn it and it's going to give you the full screen. I have tips all over the place.
Mhm.
Let's see. Oh, that's not right.
It's going to turn.
I'm
It's going to turn.
backwards.
Yeah, it'll turn.
Oh, it'll flip. Okay.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it'll be just a little delay. We'll see. Maybe not.
If not, we're gonna go like this to look at you. You can go back. Go ahead. Don't worry about it. Go back to vertical. It's fine. It's fine. That's because
Sorry
maybe
about
on your phone you don't have it set to turn with you, but that's cool. Don't worry. Happy to have you back. And we were talking about. I asked Nikki why does she believe she's beautiful, and at first I'm gonna be honest. She wasn't sure, and she's never been asked that, and I said to her, everything about her is beautiful, and then she asked me the same question, and I said, of course, everything, but it's also the fact of how we see ourselves. I see myself as beautiful because I don't allow other judgments of me to taint my view of myself.
Mhm.
Right. The minute I go, oh man, I'm a little chubby over here. I don't like this about me. Then I'm not seeing me. I'm seeing what other people are going to perceive me to be. And if someone else calls me ugly, hey, they have really dirty lenses. That's okay. If they want, I have a tool I can help clean it. I'm just kidding. I can tell them that, hey, you know what? This is a conversation I don't want to talk to you about. If you think I'm ugly, that's your prerogative.
Right.
But I'm not ugly. So Raquel, I'm going to ask you, why do you see yourself as beautiful?
I think it reflects on the people that I'm around. I have thriving relationships, and I know how to love people where they're at. I can see them for who they are and love their beauty, even if I don't agree with them. Even if our belief systems are fundamentally different, I can still see the image of God in them. And so my eyes are good that way, because I see people and I understand why people do some of the things that they do. And so it allows me to have compassion and empathy for them. So that way, if I do get frustrated with them, it allows me to, because at some point, somebody's going to get on your nerves. It allows me to come back, really just come back to love. And so I'm intentional about seeing people through the eyes of love. And
I know,
then I
but
think
you kind of deflected a little bit. I'm asking, why do you see you as beautiful, not other people?
No, I mean, that's why. It's because I'm a
Because
people person.
okay.
And yeah,
Let's say
I'm
that
a
there's
people
nobody in
person.
the room. Let's say there's nobody in the room and you're looking in the mirror. And
Yeah,
instead of
I love my
judging
heart.
yourself, there
Yeah.
you go. There you
It's
go.
that internal stuff, it's like I love my heart. I love the way I think about people. I love the way I see them. I love interacting with them. Like I'm very externally motivated, and I'm a double people person in disc. So my wiring, my wiring is like that's what makes me beautiful. It's like the way I love to nurture people, the way I treat them. So I find that beautiful because that's transcendent. That's going to
Yeah.
leave a mark on them.
Mm. Nice.
Yeah, beautifully said.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
One of the things,
I'll add something that's beautiful is your skin, because I want to see your driver's license. I don't believe you're in your 50s. You look like you're in your 20s.
when she said she had a 24-year-old, I was going to say, how is that possible? How did you have a baby when you were one?
Mm-hmm.
Right? How is that possible?
You're all my new best friends.
Oh, so good.
It's very interesting because I I challenge children to see themselves as beautiful, because another kid is going to come over and go, "Oh, you're funny looking, or you're this, or you're that." So I'm always telling the kids, "You're so beautiful," and they're like, "No, I'm not." I'm like, "Yes, you are." I said, "Go look in the mirror," and they're like, "You want me to go look in the mirror?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "What do you see?" Meanwhile, they don't look at themselves. They start looking this way. They're looking in the mirror, but they're looking at everything else. I said, "No, look at your nose, look at your eyes, look at your mouth." And all of a sudden, they're fully seeing themselves. And I said, "You are beautiful, and don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. And if they tell you that you're ugly, they're not speaking the truth."
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, I'm empowering children to start seeing the beauty first, not last. So see your beauty first. That's my the rewire that we need to do every day. Every day when I wake up in the morning, I thank God for the gifts He's given me.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, thank you for my body. Thank you for my lungs, for my hands, for my eyes, for every little thing. I'm blessed every morning. I woke up.
That's
There it
right.
is, right? I woke up. So
Yeah.
every day you and I love this topic that we're talking about, daily rewire, because guess what? Somebody is going to come in with a pair of snips to try to cut your wires and rewire you to think differently, to be someone who you really should not be.
Yeah, it goes back to trusting yourself. You know yourself best. I mean, people will always say things, and I love what you said, Sifu, about even with kids and just teaching them how to tell themselves those positive affirmations, because people are going to say things that are going to be hurtful. And when we adopt them as truth, like
Mm,
many have, including myself, then it can limit us and stunt us later in life. So
mm,
it's important to, all really what matters most is what you think of yourself,
yeah.
period.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I was talking to someone, and they spoke about Victoria's Secret's models, and I said, okay. And they said, now they have, I don't know how they call them, oversized or heavier women. And I said, finally, finally, they're seeing people, because I know women who could never fit into a Victoria's Secret model outfit, and they would pass by the store and go, "Oh, that store is not for me." But now they can. And so finally, when somebody said, "Hey, you know what? We see you too," finally, right? So maybe that's not the store you want to go into, but at least they took the initiative to say, "We see you." It's not, I hate this one size fits all. Come on, people. Come on, people. One size does not fit all,
That's
right?
right.
Because if I went to the store and I went to a one size fits all store, it's not going to fit me the way I want it to fit me. And I'm a guy,
Right.
right? And women, you have different shapes than I do. So I cannot go into a one size fits all for all unisex style. Hello. It should
Mm-hmm.
be individual. And that's why it's important to know you.
Yeah.
How do you fit?
Right.
Because If you're round, don't fit into a triangle, right? Unless you're a very small round. Fit
Right.
into a bigger triangle.
That's right.
But so a lot of times it's okay to go into a triangle when you're round or square, as long as you can actually fit.
Mhm.
But do you feel comfortable there when everybody else is a triangle?
Right.
Mm.
Mm.
Mhm.
Just
That's
thoughts,
good.
you guys.
That's good, right? Because we figure because we fit that that's the right place for us, but it
Mm.
doesn't feel right. It's off.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing to remember that if it's off for a reason. It not necessarily a bad one. It's just again awareness. Why are you feeling off? Why resonance? People sometimes they put too much stock in resonance, but resonance just means agreement. It just means you're picking up on something, a frequency. Something in you is agreeing with something that's out there. And so, like you said in the beginning, Nikki, about being curious. Oh, that's interesting. Why does this feel off? And it could be like old belief systems that are coming in to actually keep you from being in that environment to be the change agent in it. And that's what you're talking about in the beginning about potential. Sometimes we run from being the change agent because we are the square peg in the round place or vice versa. And it feels awkward. But if the potential in you is to be a trailblazer, is to break new ground, is to show people the way, you're usually viewed that way and you feel that way until you own who you are. And so when you start to trust in yourself and the gifts and the talents you've been given, then you can show up in those places and be the thermostat and not the temperature. How do you want the room to change when you walk in it?
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Sifu, you're muted. You got muted somehow.
That's okay. I was laughing at my own joke. It's okay. Sometimes we do that. I said, no matter if you're Fahrenheit or Celsius, you're still a temperature.
That's right. Yeah. That's a great question. Yeah. What's the temperature you want when you walk into the room? Because you get to set it.
Before I know we're going to wrap up, Raquel, I would love for people to connect with you. I know we have, and we've put it up, and I'm going to put it up now. Your connection, if you will. Tell us. You have 30 to 45 seconds. Tell us why somebody should come to your gpsforsuccess.net. You are
The people
honored.
that people that I am called to serve usually come to me right now because they're on burnout or on the edge of burnout. They're high achieving people, but they found that the cost of success was more that they're now willing to pay. And so they come to me when they need their one breakthrough right now. And so if that is you, then come on over to your gpsforsuccess.net. I often have like free opportunities and things there to help really allow you to emotionally regulate even things like task animal, right? Because sometimes we have a lot of worry and anxiety over doing the day-to-day things. But if you do it in alignment with how you're wired to succeed, all that stress just melts away. So if you need stress to melt away immediately, then I'm your girl.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for that. And definitely go and connect with Rachel. Your gpsforsuccess.net. I'm going to ask you, Nikki, the same question. How can we find you? I'm going to put because Nikki is such a powerful human being, but sometimes she forgets to tell people, and I'm gonna pick on you right now. You forget to tell people, hey, I am here. I'm here to serve you and your needs. So, young lady, let's hear it.
Thank you, Sifu. I am on a mission for people to believe that their mental fitness is just as important as their physical fitness. And what I offer people are mental fitness tools to change the programming. Oftentimes, we think we are our past. and we are not. We are so much more. So I help them to change that programming. People usually come to me when they realize that they're self-sabotaging and they're just tired of figuring it out all on their own, and they just want a quick, long-lasting change, and that's what I help them with.
Love it. Love it. And definitely check out Nikki. She's a powerhouse, right? NikkiGangemi.com.
Thank you, Steve.
I'm going to toot my own horn. So here it is, right? I help people all over the place because as an entrepreneur, I know how to be successful in business. Here's my superpower. Movement is my superpower. I teach you how to get 36 hours out of a 24-hour day. What? I know you're wondering, how does he do that? How does he do so much? Well, it's planning your days, right? Advanced planning is what I call it. And knowing who you are when you wake up in the morning and not confused, not that coffee is the only way you wake up. No, you wake up because you have a goal and you have a drive. So I teach people how to get that. And we have an incredible event in New York on November 22nd through the 24th. And it's to enhance your communication skills to build wealth. Because listen, you can only help more people with wealth and your words and your encouragement. So I want to thank you both for being here today. What an incredible show. By the way, in about 14 minutes, I have another show coming on. It's called Speaking Prowess, and it's all about communication. And if you get a chance, come join me. Same bat channels, people. We look forward to seeing you next time. Nikki, I really appreciate you stepping in and helping with the show today. You are my friend, a powerhouse. Raquel, let's go, girl. GPS for success.
Yes.
Thank you for being here and having a plan B. Love it.
Love
Never
it.
let anything put you down.
That's right.
All right, everybody.
Great
Thank you.
conversation, guys. Have an
All right.
awesome day.
Take care.
All right.
You
Bye-bye.
too.